make a ton of money when they're young, do so by starting their own business. And best of all, when it comes to doing this, pretty much everything you need to know is already on YouTube for free. And learning how to be self-sufficient to find the answers yourself is going to help you tremendously no matter what you decide to do in your life. Then from there, it's also crucial that you consider earning multiple sources of income. Believe it or not, this step is so important that the IRS actually published their research on high-income tax returns to discover why rich people are rich. And what they found was that the more income sources you have, the more money you tend to make. Now, of course, if you're curious which income sources are the most common for millionaires, the number one starts with a typical job. For most people, this is the cash cow that makes everything else possible, like number two, dividend income. This is probably the easiest second source of income for anybody to be able to do immediately starting today just by owning a stock, ETF, or index fund that pays you out on a regular basis. This is also very closely related to the third millionaire income source, and that would be capital gains. This one is often claimed to be the reason why millionaires avoid paying taxes, but in all reality, it's simply because the long-term capital gains tax rate is lower than that of earned income. But the point still remains. This can be very profitable if you do well. For example, fourth, once you start earning money, you could also branch out to rental properties. Sure, it's a lot of work, but with a consistent income, good credit score, and knowledge on a particular market, you could do quite well, even during a time where inventory is low. And then finally, six, you could increase your income by working a side hustle or taking on a part-time job. I personally tend to believe that this is one of the most underutilized income sources that people are not taking advantage of, especially when you consider that people are wasting 2.5 hours a day on social media. Just imagine what people would be able to accomplish if they just put that focus in something more productive. I just think working any type of side business that's independent from your main source of income is not only a good way to make more money, but also diversify yourself just in case something happens.
6 words that are basics of financial education, financial intelligence: income, expense, asset, liability. And the 2 other words are cash flow. So when you look at the average person, they have a job, money comes in here, they pay for their house, and the money goes to a bank through a mortgage. So it's not an asset because the cash is flowing out, so it's a liability. So the definition of liability, does it take money from your pocket? And for an asset, does it put money in your pocket? So when I have a rental property here, it puts money in my pocket. So if I live in the house, it's a liability, because even if I have no debt on it, I still have taxes, depreciation, repairs, and upkeep, insurance, and all this. When I rent a property, I've done a good job buying it and structuring it. Every month it sends me money. So I started off when I was 25, I had a little 1-bedroom condo, and it put 25 bucks in my pocket. It was a start. So this was good debt. You see, the debt also went out and paid, but it also put $25 in my pocket. So net, I was making money from my little house. So today, my wife and I own 6,500 of them. And every month, 6,500 houses put money in my pocket. My people who live in them love me and all this because they have a place to live. But all of this comes from debt. So they're 100% financed here. It's all debt. So this is good debt. And what makes it good debt are the 2 most important words: cash flow.
NOI means net operating income. So if you really think about it, it's just income minus expenses. That's all it is. And so it's important to know where you are financially. So a banker is going to look at your income after expenses. So that's a great way to say it.
Yeah, it's really quite simple. So let's say, I'll keep the numbers simple. You have $1,000 income and you have $500 in expenses. This is a property.
Yeah. So you have a $500 NOI, or net operating income.
So why is that important?
Well, The banker looks at that number because that's the number that they see to be able to pay back any debt you might want.
Right, this is where this comes in, right?
Correct. So they're going to look here and they're going to say, okay, this person has $500 in NOI, therefore we can give them a loan, say up to, say, $350, $250 or something like that. So they're not going to give you a loan for the whole amount because they don't want, you know, that you to be that tight. So but what they're going to do is they're going to look at the NOI and say, how much can we loan you?
So when Kenny...
So what I want you to do, and in the year 2022, there are so many things that make it so easy to invest. Simple things like Robinhood or Webull. Like, it's very easy to take money and invest it, whether that be into stocks, whether that be into crypto, whether that be NFTs, even real estate. It's getting easier and easier these days for someone who's not a seasoned investor to get started and get investing. So what I want you to do is I want you to set up your, it could be a Coinbase account or a Kraken account or a Binance account, right? Something that you can buy crypto with and actually learn how to take money from your bank, whether that could be $50 or $100, and know how to wire that and send that to your Binance or your Coinbase account, so that way you can start investing. I want you to set up your Webull or Robinhood account, and I don't have any affiliate links for any of these platforms. Just go, type it in Google and get signed up, because that way you're removing any barrier or friction in order to invest. I want you to set up an OpenSea account. I want you to set up a Chrono24 account. I want you to, whenever you walk past a real estate agency in your town or city, I want you to, actually look at the house prices and just get a feel for what are the house prices in your area. I want you to spend a bit of time on Zoopla or Rightmove, wherever you are in the world, right? As I said, just to get to know, why is one house worth more than another? Why does one house rent out for more than another? And you don't need to become an expert at any of this stuff. You don't need to become an NFT expert and spend 24 hours a day on OpenSea, but you can just start to see patterns and stuff like that. Whatever avenue you want to go down. And, for example, for me, all of my investments are with crypto, NFT, and watches, right? Like, that's just the area and the vertical that I am the most proficient and I understand the most. So that's just kind of what I stick to, and I know them very, 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 very well. I know watch prices very well. I know everything that's going on OpenSea. I know everything that's going on in the crypto market. So as I said, whatever vertical you decide to go down, set up the infrastructure to be able to invest. So that way, if tomorrow you want to invest $1,000, you could do it, and there's nothing, there's no excuses that you...
Is that most champions do not have something that you do not. They lack something that you have. It's a different thought process, because if all of us have the exact same hours per day, it means that they're allocating their time differently. Many times they eliminate things that you are still doing. They have sacrificed more. They have given up things that you have continued to have on your tree as branches that are distracting from growing up. Champions, when I look at the people who are further ahead of me, they're even more ruthless with their time. They even have lower tolerance for friends, family, people around them that are not at the bar that they hold themselves to. For me, going through college or when I was younger, I always thought it was about adding to your plate, saying yes to everything, saying yes to opportunity, say yes, say yes, say yes, when all I did was I just completely got distracted and spread super thin. What most champions have is singular focus, and they are willing to say no to everything else. And that took me too long to learn.